guys missed me? It's okay. It's okay. Y'all can say y'all missed me. I missed y'all too.
How's it going, guys? It is Greg.
It's your boy Luther.
And I'm Amani. And we're L.A.N Party.
Yes,
y'all missed that last year, huh?
So you missed last week.
Last year?
Last year, yeah.
So what happened? Why wasn't you here last week?
Why are you I was sick.
Oh, you sick?
Yeah, you know I was sick.
Oh, what you had?
Oh my God. Why are we talking about this?
Nah, what you had?
I had what the young kids call the vid. 2025. Who is getting the vid, bro?
The Miami vid?
No.
No.
I couldn't make it to Miami because I got the vid, sadly. But yep, that was me. Yeah.
His face is got me cracking up right now.
You didn't know I didn't make it to Miami?
No, I didn't. I thought you was in Miami.
Yeah, no. Greg called me. I'm like, Greg, I never made it to Miami because I got the vid. And he was like, damn. And I was like, yeah. So that was my life. Just healing, chilling, being sad.
Why do you have that face, Luther?
Why don't I believe her?
She really didn't have.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Because you're smirking the whole time she's telling the story.
I don't know why he finds it funny, but I was so sad. I was about to go to the beach in New York, and then I was like, all right, bro, just sit your ass down. Like, what are you doing?
So everybody went without you? Is that what it is?
Actually, it was going to be a solo trip. So I was just going to be in Miami by myself with sipping a margarita.
Watching the Formula One racing?
No, not that. But sipping a margarita.
Damn.
Playing in the water, and that's it. Yeah, reading a book. It was going to be a solo trip. But then it was a no-low trip, so.
Tough. Loser.
You just called her a loser?
For getting COVID? But I feel like a loser getting it in 2025, but yo, it's whatever.
Who do you think gave it to you?
I work in the food industry, so somebody at some restaurant.
That's not. Ew. The fuck?
What? Yeah, maybe a customer.
A restaurant,
but you know,
bid?
we live in like New York City, so you know, a person cough in their hands and they touch something, and then I touch something. Yeah. Also, because it's 2025, people don't stress it anymore. So as soon as you get symptoms, people probably aren't getting tested. For me, I thought it was a little cold, so I was hyped because I was just like, perfect. It's a little cold. I'm gonna get, because I got it like 1 or 2 days before. So I was like, I'm gonna get my little doctor's note, and then I get to rest and relax before my trip even more. And then, yeah. And then the nurse was like, so you got COVID. And I was like, no. And they were like, bro, it's not that deep. Just drink some ginger ale and rest and you'll be fine. And I was like, you don't understand. I have a trip to Miami planned. And they were like, it's not anymore. And that was my weekend.
That was your weekend. That was my week. Last week.
That was
Hold
last
on.
week.
You got a real ID?
No, but I have a passport. Yeah.
I'm about to say, how?
Am I going to DreamCon, right? Yeah.
Not even that. How was you getting to Miami? Like, didn't it go into effect like the 5th or something?
So
13th?
essentially, people can still get on planes. They can still get on planes. It's just a longer
To like
process.
get back home?
No, just in general. Like, it's just a longer process. I don't think this really means much.
So why they stress all that for?
I don't know. But still bring your like stuff because, the government's the government. The government's going to government.
Yeah.
So you just like bring your stuff.
DreamCon is in 3 weeks, bro. How you feeling?
Stress.
Yeah.
I feel nothing but stress. Same per usual. The stress is a little bit more than usual.
Why? Because of the 7 parties we're doing?
No, actually. That's not even the stressful thing on my plate.
First off, it's 5.
Copy.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 is too much, okay?
Yeah.
We have 5.
And even if they were 7, and
Light work.
No, we have a lot of moving components this time around. Like, the parties are not that much of a moving component. It's just like just sell the fucking tickets and come to the party. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
But
I feel it.
I think that we may have a certain guest at the booth potentially.
Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
That is not confirmed. I'm not entertaining that idea.
Oh, he didn't deny it. You heard it here.
I'm denying it. I'm denying it. completely denying that. Debunked. She's not coming.
Okay.
Debunked. And if she comes and we are there, that's just by chance. That's not that is not the powers that be. That is not me. So don't even. And no, I don't know if she's coming or not. So don't ask me that either, because I don't know.
I don't believe you, but I know you're Mark's bestie. And I know you probably signed that NDA. He's like, I can't let you say this. I love you, but you gotta sign an NDA. Okay.
No.
She gonna be there.
Yeah.
She buying one of our JoJo shorts.
She gonna be twerking it.
But yeah, continue.
But for what it's worth, DreamCon this year DreamCon is a lot more stressful than it normally is.
Why?
That's because everything's been moved up 2 months.
Yeah.
Got less time to prep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Like around this time, any other year,
Be MomoCon.
it would be MomoCon, but also like I'm not as stressed when it comes to ticket sales or anything like that. This thing is like 2-3 weeks, bro. Like
3 weeks, yeah.
Right. We still gotta. I don't know. Do everyone have their flights? Like I don't know.
I got my going, not my return.
You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? Is everybody
Staying in Houston, gang.
For life.
You might like it there. It's good weather. The food not bad. You might like it. But for what it's worth, it's just we have 2 panels at DreamCon this year. The first panel will be with Zero, Spook Ones. She has PG from Some Bros and Jamal from Monkey Paw on her panel.
Wow.
Yes.
Exciting.
Shout out to Zero. Let's see. To my understanding, I think Sachi's part of a One Piece panel. That is ran by Pat of Studio Maho. So shout out to Studio Maho and Sachi on that panel.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
BK is doing Same Brain with Kai, defined by Kai. That's happening, I think, Friday night as well.
Had to specify that. I'm like, Kai?
Yeah, right. They go crazy. And then we have our panel as well. That Sunday. So we have a couple panels coming up and stuff like that. As I said, we have a potential like guest at our booth.
Megan Stallion, yes.
No, but like I don't know, like it's not finalized, but like the thought of having this guest there kind of stresses me out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it kind of does. Because I don't like
You could name the guest and we could bleep it out.
It's Lotto.
No. Oh yeah, we could bleep it out.
Yeah, name it and
You
bleep
know,
it.
the guest, his name is and he's cousins of
Oh.
and because of that his mentor might be coming as well, and his mentor is
Wow. Are you gonna bleep out all those names?
that has to be bleeped out.
Yeah. A lot of names.
Even the family relations.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the time stamp on that? 12 minutes? All right, let me write that down.
Yeah. Because you said mad names, like they gonna figure it out.
Yeah, like, I gotta write that down.
Wow, that's exciting.
It's terrifying a little bit because, like, you know, I think that's a new level of star power I don't think we've had around us before.
Yeah.
And like we kind of are in charge of facilitating things are okay and shit like that. And that kind of fucking freaks me out a little bit because it's just an add-on thing to the many things we're doing the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Meg the Stallion is a pretty big deal. So
Like, this man, you just want to sniff her butt cheeks.
Who wouldn't?
Touche.
that is a pretty big deal. That is a pretty big guest that we got. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. And then, as a matter of fact, having him there, he might get us closer.
Is he confirmed to be at DreamCon? That's the first question.
No.
Oh, so we don't even know if he's coming.
Exactly. But if he is, he's not coming through the con. He's coming through a different connect that's trying to have, like, I think trying to have him set up shop somewhere. And I think they want to have us be the proxy.
Wow.
So I don't know how I feel about this yet, if we're being honest. I think I actually just need to sit down with it for a bit.
I feel like one day I'm gonna look through your phone and I'm gonna see a picture with you chilling with Beyonce. Like, I really do. I'd be like, what the fuck did this happen, Greg? He was like, man, you know, just knew a guy who knew a guy.
That's
How it goes. That's how it goes, bro. You just walk into a spot, Beyonce there.
Beyonce just chilling.
You walk into a spot and Ice Cube's on there, and it's like, all right, I could dig it. I can hang with this.
This is my life now. So, Luther, how was your weekend?
I don't know. Did I do anything of importance?
What the fuck?
Everything feel like a blur, bro. I'm tired. Yeah.
Damn, that sounds fun as fuck.
I'm tired. Not that type of blur. I'm just I just wanted to sleep. But we went to Sachi's event. That did happen. I'm not used to going to things on weekends because I normally work weekends. So like I kind of forgot like that was a weekend, like a Saturday.
Did you tell your boss? Were you like, I'm not going to work today? Like,
why are you trying to lie to me? Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like an op.
How am I the op when he said I usually work Saturday?
I usually do. You don't.
You opt yourself.
No, I didn't. I got PTO.
Okay. Sounds good.
Shut up.
I'm so lost.
Anyway, yeah. Sachi's Fade Day Rave, right? That's what that was called. I don't remember the actual title.
Yes, Fade Day Rave.
Right, and then what we do yesterday? Toasty had a after party for the Naruto Symphony.
How was it?
I was gonna say orchestra, but
that's orchestra.
Oh, but it was an after party for like her tour for that thing. That was pretty dope. It's also pretty cool that she was a part of that whole thing. So
nice.
New York represent out there for sure. I think that's it. And I slept.
Okay. Emmanuel, how was your weekend?
Same thing. Well, I didn't go to Toasty's thing, but unfortunately, I did go to Sachi's Black Friday, and I just
you was working it, right?
I don't know. I just love to be like behind the scenes, helping make things work. So I don't know. I love Sachi. She's my friend, and she didn't even ask. I just came in like, how can I help? And then I just helped all the ways I could.
Be in the room where it happens. The room where it happens.
I want to be in the room where it happens. I do. Right now, Greg's in the room.
Greg's always in the room where it happens.
What is it, Aaron Burr? I'm literally Aaron Burr. Like, I want to be in.
Greg is always in the room where it happens. Greg is Hamilton, bro. Like, always in the room where it happens.
I want to say I started, like, it's not a new anime. It's an old anime. But, with all the hype of Sinners, now people are, like, getting on the vampire stuff. So I started this new anime called The Case of, like, Versailles. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Vanitas?
Yes. Vanitas. I really like it.
I've heard of it. Never watched it. I just know the name.
I ain't watching either.
Yeah, I'm watching it dubbed, which is a really hard watch. I think I might bite the bullet and sub that shit because it's bad.
I don't even know why you even tried. I don't even know why you even tried, bro.
That's how you feel? It's a bad dub?
It's a bad dub.
Look in the camera and say that.
Why are you trying to get me in trouble?
Look in the camera and say that.
I love to watch dubbed anime.
But
I personally don't care for the dub for that particular anime.
Which character you hate the most?
The main one.
Vanitas?
Blue-eyed Vanitas. It's just he looks so hot, but he sounds so not. He sounds like a fucking lame.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I know on the anime this guy sounds sexy, bro. And I think, and that's the main reason why I just want to do the sub. I said in anime, I know in the sub he sounds sexy. That's the main reason I'm thinking about switching.
Oh my god! Oh man!
That's my weekend.
All right, well, thank you for that.
I'm in trouble, man.
Yeah, you are.
They're gonna kill me in the comments. Be nice, y'all.
Someone's gonna block us.
Oh
so the gag is
take a look at the cast.
Take a look at the just look at the cast
right now.
For the English dub.
Oh no, I don't have it. You got it. My phone's charging.
Show her, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Show
please
her the
don't tell
cast,
me it
please.
is who I think it is. Oh no! Oh, no! Y'all set me up.
Yeah,
You cooked, fam.
It was too easy.
Yo, you're
Gonna
cooked.
block me.
He gonna block the show.
Specifically, yeah.
Everything.
You specifically. Yeah, you're cooked, fam.
My friend.
Yo, two tools, fam.
I never said that about you, man.
I just lost my friend.
Yeah, you definitely lost a friend.
Two tools, fam. Yo, you're
tools,
cooked, fam.
Wow.
Two tools, man.
This is gonna be the highlight clip for the fucking
I know
podcast.
it is. I take it back.
Nah, bro, you said that shit with your chest. I'm sorry.
Even Remy was trying his best not to. Remy was trying his best not to laugh.
Yo,
You said that. He saw this setup. He don't even know the guy.
See, but I'm sure it's not Zeno's fault. I'm sure it's just like the directorial,
Remy, how was your weekend? How was your weekend, Remy?
It was just a lot of work and catching up, photo editing. Shot like 2 events like right before the weekend, so it was just a whole bunch of behind the computer.
Heard you, Remy from the shadows. My weekend was.
Damn, we still didn't do that.
My weekend? Yeah, right. We're gonna drag this episode. My weekend was my weekend was lit, bro. I went to see SZA and Kendrick on Friday.
Where? Was it Philly?
Huh?
Philly or?
Why would I go to Philly?
Oh, you saw it here in
She was in
not in
Jersey.
New York.
Yeah, and that's the way I like it. She was looking at me.
Aww.
Hold on, can we? She was looking at me.
Aww.
Yeah.
Wait, where did you see it? New York? I thought he wasn't doing it in New York.
Jersey.
Jersey, got it.
So I went to that. That was great. After that, Saturday was what we do Saturday? Frick. It was Sachi's thing.
Yeah, and then Sunday.
Sachi's thing was cool. The drinks were drinking.
Yeah.
The drinks were drinking, you know. Shout out to Sachi. It was a great event. Shout out to Anuli and yourself for helping as well.
Aw,
great
thanks.
job. DJ was on point. The vendors are cool. All of that.
Yeah.
Sunday was what event was that? Toasty's event. Thank you, Mom. My brain is shot. Sunday was cool. It was a lot of dancing.
It was a cool event, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of dancing.
You didn't, I'm sorry, wasn't it an after party?
Yeah, but like it was a lot of dancing. They were dancing hard.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing JoJo poses in there.
Nice.
Someone was trying to break dance. Someone tried to get served. There was all types of. There was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. It was fun. Shout out to Tosi.
Mm-hmm.
As Luther was saying, to be a part of that and just travel across America singing like anime songs, that's somebody's dream. Clearly it's hers.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to her. All right. Gaming news. GTA 6 official trailer dropped, sparking many fan theories. Have y'all seen the GTA
No,
trailer?
sadly.
You haven't?
Seen any of them?
Any of the new ones?
There's only 2.
No.
You haven't seen them? It looks realistic as hell. It looks good.
Really nice.
I'm hyped. And there's Haitians in it. You don't agree? You making a face?
I don't agree that there's Haitians in it. Yeah,
No, that look good.
No, it do look good.
Oh.
It still just look like a video game, but it look good, yeah.
I mean, in comparison to from 5 to now,
Yeah, but 5 came out like
yeah.
11 years ago.
don't do that. 5 get remastered every 2 years.
Okay, but again, it still looked like 5. It looked like it was a PS3 game, like, because it was a PS3 game. Like, you know, they could remaster it as much as they want. They didn't remake it. They just polished it up. So, you know, yeah, it's going to look a hell of a lot better than...
They slap a new coat of paint on that like every 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah. So, no shit. This one's going to be like, damn, that looks good.
Are you guys gonna get it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Hell yeah.
I just got to get me a new PlayStation by then.
Okay.
I'm excited only because like the Haitian representation in that game is at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those are like the Florida Haitians.
Those are the vagabonds, the freaking
Nice.
I know they wear sandals with ashy feet, running around with rusty machetes.
You get to say that because he Haitian.
Yeah. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Don't say that. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Moving on, we have cancel. Peacemaker Season 2. Peacemaker returns on August 21st with Superman cameos by Hawk Girl and Guy Garner, Green Lantern, and Maxwell Lord. Maxwell Lord or Sean Gunn?
The Pedro Pascal Maxwell Lord.
Yes. From the Wonder Woman movie? Yes. That character.
You're going to have him in the DC property while Fantastic Four is making the rounds in theaters?
No, Pedro Pascal isn't coming back. It's Sean Gunn. I think that's James Gunn, like brother or something.
Brother, yeah, but you said Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, he's Maxwell Lord.
Oh, Sean Gunn's playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you was referencing, so you know who I was talking about.
Oh, no, I thought like he himself was playing the character again.
No. It's Sean Gunn. I'm excited for Peacemaker Season 2 only because Peacemaker Season 1 was good. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I think Peacemaker is one of the better DC shows. They show that they can make shows that are not like, I don't know, The Flash, The Arrow, Supergirl.
Jesus.
universe time travels of yesterday.
I thought you like Arrow and The Flash, but it did go downhill.
The Flash was buns after season 3, bro.
Yeah, it did go.
They all inevitably go downhill. I think Peacekeeper. What I said, Peacekeeper.
Make
I think Peacemaker was a lot more entertaining overall from beginning to end of the season.
I think Lois and Clark, the Superman joint, actually did pretty good too.
No, I
people
actually
liked
like
it from
that.
like beginning to end.
Mhm.
That's one of the few CW series people actually just like straight up liked.
No, it was good.
Do
I
y'all
watched it.
remember how many seasons? 4 of Lois and Clark?
I didn't watch it.
I think it's 4 or 5.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was a little bit of a hard watch only because like the season had like freaking like 18 episodes or something
Yeah.
like that, right? So like it's long, but it gives time to like for characters to develop their stories and stuff
What
like
about
that.
Black Lightning? Did that fall off? Because I didn't watch that either.
Oh, yeah. I think it fell off, no?
Hell yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It fell. I don't think it got a chance to fall off. I think like they just cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
They just cut it. But like I don't know when the main villain's calling you a Negro on Channel 11.
Yeah.
I'm tired of you Negro. Tired of you Negro.
Yeah.
I feel like what more can you give me at that point?
Yeah.
I may be saying that shit. So
Our mayor says that?
yes, bro. You ain't see the clip of him calling people Negroes?
No.
He was like, yo, these Negroes try to tear a black man down when people wanted him out of office and whatnot. He didn't get arrested. Like, you ain't see that clip?
No.
Crazy, bro.
Yo, that just annoyed me. I'm annoyed now.
Yo, Mayor Adams got no chill, bro. That man funny. I know we don't like him, but he funny, bro.
He's just a glorified party promoter. Pack him up. All right, we have new Godzilla X Kong Supernova hits theaters March 26, 2007. I don't have the slightest idea what you're going to give me with another Godzilla and Kong movie.
Don't matter. I'm gonna
Jesus.
just watch it. It's a popcorn flick. Come on.
Yeah, but it's called Supernova. So you about to give me a creature that could create a supernova?
Yeah, and
I don't
gonna get his
need
butt
that.
kicked by Godzilla.
You don't want another Godzilla?
Where is it coming from?
Hey,
Go back.
Godzilla fans usually love Godzilla. They're usually like, yay.
They're entertaining. I like watching them.
Yo, bro, I feel you, right? But how many times I got to watch this monkey get clapped?
Godzilla's going to take the forefront of this one, bro.
I kinda
He's the
feel
main
the same
character
way.
this time. Last time Kong was the main character.
I kind of feel the
This
same.
time Godzilla's the main character in this one. Kong's just a Marvel assist.
And it's like Godzilla just.
Yeah.
Now his arms is longer in these.
Oh, yeah, my fault.
in the
Hold on.
movies. You know, he be punching people.
But I
He
feel
be
like,
jabbing, bro.
I don't know, the way you're talking about this, Greg, I feel like you're just not a fan.
I like the Godzilla movies, right? I like the last one, but it's like it's called Supernova, right? Do you know what the frick a supernova is? It sounds very destructive.
Yeah.
What creature are you about to introduce that needs to be that destructive? And where is it coming from?
Yeah.
He's the most space. I don't want that. Keep it out there. Please, like, don't bring that here. How many more of us have to die?
Oh, no.
500.
Oh, no.
558, man.
Y'all annoying.
Come on. All I hear are screams. So yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about that. All right.
That's
this
actually
one,
very funny, Greg.
you said I'm funny?
Yeah, that was very funny.
Oh.
It was.
So Miles Morales possible teased in new Spider-Man Brand New Day casting. Deadline reported that Lisa Colin Zayas, I don't know how to say that shit. Please forgive me. From The Bear has joined the cast of Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is the woman. You watched The Bear?
Yes, of course. Yes, yes.
Did you watch The Bear? Okay, but you are familiar with the cast a little bit?
Not whoever that is.
She's her old Hispanic lady from The Bear.
Okay.
She goes, yes, Jeff.
Yeah.
I only know the bear and I know the thing. That's it.
What's the thing?
The bear's friend. He plays the thing in Fantastic
The
Four.
one that calls him cousin.
Got it.
And then I only know the bear. He's the bear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Well, he's
you
not the
know,
bear, but he's a head chef.
He's the bear. All right.
And the
So
restaurant is named The Bear.
no, he's the bear. Bro.
All right.
The show's called The Bear. I see his face, so he's the bear.
Copy. Wait, but what were you saying about
Right here.
I feel like I should know her, but I don't.
Wait, so
You've
what?
seen her plenty of times, bro.
I
Actually,
should
I've
know
only seen
her,
her in
but
The
I
Bear.
don't. She looked familiar, but I
I've only seen
I
her.
feel like I should know her, but I don't. You know who she remind me of?
Who?
She remind me of the lady that was Fisk's assistant in Daredevil. That lady I recognize, but it could just be two Afro Latinas in Hollywood. So
Sheesh.
that could
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know it sounds bad.
Can you clip
but
this? Can this be the clip of the week, please? Put that on
she
the
does
screen.
remind me of that lady. Like they do favor each other, looks wise. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like I should know her, and I'm thinking I don't know if I'm confusing her for that other lady, or maybe I did just see her in something else, or maybe it's like, or maybe I think it's the other lady and it was actually her.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well,
Whatever. Cook me if you want.
I can't say nothing.
yeah.
Whatever.
Listen,
All right, listen.
apparently she might be playing Miles' grandmother.
Nice.
So I think my question for you guys is who would you like to see play Miles Morales in the MCU?
Oh shit, I haven't even thought about that.
I don't know, some kid.
Maybe the guy from Stranger Things.
They getting too old too quick.
And all the boys growing up fast.
They're growing like insects.
What other like young men can we think of to fill? that role?
Maybe the guy, not the Sinners kid.
I think
The Sinners kid would be great.
He's young, but I don't think.
I think he has a swagger though. It's just he showed. If we cool with him like having a short Miles forever, I'm cool.
Miles isn't very tall.
How tall is he?
I don't, how short is?
Let's do
Sinners?
it.
What's the guy's name? Miles.
I have no idea.
Miles
Is his name actually Miles?
No.
The guy from Sinners, right?
I
Is
think
his name Miles?
I think potentially.
Like
Yeah,
Miles Teller?
Kenton.
Miles
Yeah. Let's see how tall this kid is. He seems short.
Miles Morales or Sinners guy?
They're both named Miles.
Right.
Oh, someone already Googled what his height is.
Which one?
Miles Canton.
Oh, we talk about.
Catan? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this man's height.
I thought he was looking at Miles Morales.
We're going right. He's next. He's next. This kid, his height. They don't say. But I know he not tall because I'm looking at a picture of him and Michael B. Jordan, and the top of his head is touching Michael B's nose.
All right. So how tall is Miles Morales?
All right, Miles Morales. What's on up? Miles.
I thought that's what we was looking up first.
Miles Morales' height. He 5'8". All right. No, wait, on also 5'10" in Spider-Man 2 game. In comics, he's 5'8". You know what? That's
Let's go with the comics.
We're going with the comics.
Go with the-
This killer, he's like 5'7", between 5'7" and 5'9". This could work.
He could work.
We don't need a tall one.
He just got to be able to speak Spanglish.
I mean, he already got a Brooklyn, not a Brooklyn accent, but he already have a New York accent. He's halfway there.
Yeah, it's halfway there, bro.
He's halfway there. I was thinking, y'all seen the show The Shy?
Yes.
No, but I know of it.
The little black,
I know of
the little black boy from The Shy.
from Moonlight.
Oh, him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he not too old for that now? Much like the McLaughlin guy, the Stranger
From
Things
Stranger
kid?
Things?
Do you think they're gonna just cast somebody new, like a brand new actor, most likely?
I wouldn't mind, but I mean,
Yeah,
Miles
I would
Kenton
like
is
that.
rather new. I think Sinners was like his debut role.
That was his debut role.
Wait,
Well,
okay. Quick question. Over under next 3 Spider-Man films.
Over under?
Over under when do you think Miles Morales, if he gets introduced, when does he get introduced? Like within the next 3 movies or after?
Within the next 3 movies.
Within the next.
Does he get introduced as Spider-Man in the next 3 movies?
No.
I think he gets introduced as Spider-Man at the end of the next trilogy.
I would also bet that. I would bet that he's a cutscene in the last movie.
Mm-hmm. And then we gotta wait 15 years for them to make that.
I think,
my God.
So I honestly think whoever they're going to cast is going to get cast in like 6 years.
So it gotta be somebody young.
Now, it can still be Miles. He ain't grown any taller.
Yeah, but remember, he's supposed to be, what, high school?
Just shave his beard.
Yeah, he's supposed to.
But like high school in
at
like 8
14.
years from now.
True.
How old is he now? He's like 21 now, right? So
Yeah.
he'll be like damn near 30.
30 is supposed to be a freshman in high school. Like that's crazy.
Okay, we let these white actors get away with that for years.
And we laugh at them for it. Like, this ain't no damn high schooler. Like, come on.
I mean, like Jack Reacher when he was playing the high school, the college kid. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, but he didn't look like Jack Reacher when he was in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, he was a twig.
I'm sorry, what's the name of the actor who plays Peter Parker now? I forget. I just know him as Zendaya's boyfriend.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
That
okay.
sucks.
Yeah, that's how I know him.
That sucks.
That's who he is to me. He wasn't really known. Was he? Was he known before?
He was in movies.
I would agree that he wasn't A-list for sure until the Spider-Man film. And then after that, it was like that, Uncharted. He did a couple of other ones, and he's just been on a tear since.
Yeah. So
I think it's funny that you refer to him as Zendaya's boyfriend and not by his name.
I mean,
his name has 3 letters.
Clip, please, can this be the clip?
I have a better question. What's the name? What's Loki's name? The actor that plays Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
So you just couldn't call him Tom? It's 3 letters, bro. Like you just couldn't. You couldn't give him 3 letters.
So intertwined with Zendaya at this point that I just.
That's tough. I mean, but she is superstar.
She is.
But he is also Spider-Man.
Star.
Like,
what do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, I'm not.
Her family call him Spider-Man. They don't even call him by his name.
My bad. I'm sorry. It's just like I don't know. He hasn't made that deep of an, I guess, an impression on me,
Spider-Man.
To remember his name like that.
So how the fuck do you remember Tom Hiddleston's name?
Because his character has made an impression on me as Loki. I'm not saying he's a bad Peter Parker. I love him as Peter Parker, but I'm just saying he hasn't really made an impression on me. That's all. Enough to remember him. Maybe it's Zendaya, honestly. Maybe it's Zendaya maybe if he wasn't with her.
Effect?
Yeah, maybe it's the Zendaya effect if we're being honest. But point is, I think a whole new actor, like an unknown, would be really great for Miles. And I hope that's the direction they go. I feel like they won't because of clout, but I still think it would be a fantastic idea.
I wouldn't mind it. I just think it just has to be someone from New York, in my opinion. I would like that, if we're being honest. I think that's what gives the character that flair.
I don't know, but acting is acting. Like
everybody can't do it.
Yeah, but when you actually get somebody from New York to play somebody who's in New York, you feel better. Like, look at Anthony Ramos in the Transformers movies.
I feel you.
Oh,
playing a Brooklyn guy, and he was from Brooklyn.
I feel it.
Right,
East New York.
Because then it's not acting at that point. You're just
he's being himself in the 90s. Like,
so you don't feel like there's an act. You don't feel like this guy from Vermont is like kind of playing without.
And Shorty too, his co-actress.
People didn't know Idris Elba was British. So
Damon Idris.
Pardon?
Who'd you say?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, for years people thought he was American. So
really?
people do all the time. I think also Christian Bale. I didn't know he was.
Okay, Christian Bale.
American. I'm saying.
Christian Bale got Christian.
What?
But I do hear what you say. Like, there's I don't know. I can't find the word.
It's a flair dramatic.
A je ne sais quoi about being from New York, and only a New Yorker can understand that and embody that.
Yeah, it feel like when someone else who's not from New York imitate us. I don't know. I get a little angry.
The line delivery is more authentic because then you could be like, I'm not saying that. That's not how, like, you know, that's not what we say.
They don't got it. I feel you.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but like I said, when Anthony Ramos did the transform, him and his co-star, I forgot her name, but Shorty from
Dominique Fishback.
Yeah, her from Swarm, most notably for me anyway. Like, she's also from Brooklyn.
Really?
And then they dropped the premiere for at King's Theater too in Brooklyn. So
they definitely did.
Nice.
So the writer for the first Blade trilogy is like, "What's up? Why am I not doing this yet?"
I heard about that,
and I don't know. I think we get him and Ryan Coogler in the room. Let's just give Ryan Coogler all the black IPs in Marvel and let him go crazy. How do I feel about that?
Yeah,
we need him.
Amazing, of course.
Okay.
We need the first writer for Blade.
Yeah.
We need Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
We need the director from the John Wick movies.
Ooh. That would go crazy.
Ooh.
Clip that. Make that be the clip.
She gonna clip everything.
So we get the 3 of them in there for a Blade movie.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
That'd be iconic.
That'd be. I think that'd be
Fire.
one of the best Marvel movies.
Fire.
Do we know who's directing Blade yet? Or?
Nobody
Damn
right
soul.
now, bro.
Because they got
Nobody right
Nobody.
now, bro.
They
Ain't got no. That's why he said the writer was like, "Yo, what y'all do? I mean, y'all want me to write some shit? I'll write it.
I'll write it.
Yo, hit me up. I'll write it up right now. It's not hard.
Yeah,
What do
I'll
you
do it for free at this point.
Yo, like, what do y'all? What's the hold up? I'll do it for you. Like, what's up?
with the success of Sinners, it's about to get green light any second if it hasn't already. To be honest.
No, it hasn't. But
Speaking of Sinners, there was a rumor that I seen,
a beat.
and I forgot to touch on it in our last podcast episode with Frankie being here. But there's a rumor that there's a Sinners cinematic universe.
Luther's over it.
Hold on.
Why are you over it, Luther?
Cause why? Let me hear this BS, bro.
I hear you. Actually, I hear you. I wanted to be like, why are you like that? But I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Originating from the ownership deal that Ryan Coogler has.
Okay, so let me read it out loud so everyone's on the same page. So they're saying Field of Sinners, spring of 2026, right? Tears of Sinners, fall of 2026, right? Limerick of Sinners in 2027 of the summer. 90s and Sinners, that's winter of 2028. Glitter and Sinners, that is summer of 2028. And in 2029, the winter of 2029, Sinners 2. I am not excited for none of
That
this.
sounds stupid.
I'm not excited for none of it.
That sounds stupid.
So they're gonna make a Sinners multiverse.
This is called phase 1 of
I'm
Sinners.
not trying to hear that.
Really?
This sound dumb.
I don't think this is real.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I don't
really-
believe it. That sounds so dumb. No. That don't even sound Ryan Coogler like.
Y'all don't want to have.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want a Sinners 2?
The only sequel I've seen him do
No.
was Black Panther, and that's a Marvel movie. So like, duh. But, yo, bro, come back.
We don't need a Sinners 2. He said everything. He did what he did. He said what he said. He made that work of art and let it flourish. It doesn't. We don't need another one.
Yeah.
I feel like unless he can say or do anything different or more, but I feel like it will dilute, and take away from the original work of art, in my opinion.
I think unless he's expanding on the world itself and not just vampires, but making it like maybe a different creature, essentially. Like this is a world of ancestry, demons, magic, shit like that. Maybe, but again, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting if he does like maybe a Yoruba folklore or something, like a tale or something like that takes place in probably South Africa.
Yeah, which is something new.
Yeah, and it's not vampire related.
Yeah.
It's a complete different creature, right? And it's just a world. It's a world where there's bad things happen.
Yeah.
I think that would be more of an interesting take.
That's interesting. Yeah, I agree.
We're not running back the whole vampires can't walk in. Like we're retouching on old not folklore, but old like lore for all these old creatures like like werewolves and stuff like that. And we don't need a crossover. We don't need one big crossover at the end of the fade.
Like all them creatures from South of Midnight.
Yeah, like we don't need that.
Have you haven't played that, no? Because
Yes, I did.
Xbox. I thought it's Xbox exclusive.
I got Game Pass. Played on my PC.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I think something like that could work. But it has to be intentional. It can't be a money grab. It has to be like the same effort he put into this, he would have to put into that as well.
But it wouldn't be in the Sinners universe. You're talking about a completely different work of art, correct?
No, I'm saying it can be. It just don't have to be vampires.
But then I don't understand. What's the purpose of connecting it into the Sinners universe?
It's just
Expanding the world.
It's world expansion, right? Past it, that's all it is. It's just world expansion. So far in the Sinners world, there are vampires, right? That follow specific rules and all that stuff that we know of growing up.
Yeah,
And vampire hunters.
Exactly. So if you were to give me a different part of the world, right, and you gave me a different creature. Yeah. It's just expanding on that world that you've already created.
I feel that. I think Sinners in general is like the vampire. There was a lot of symbolisms and the vampires represented like a lot of things. I don't think I have all of the intellect to say what it meant, what I'm trying to say, but there were a lot of layers and a lot of like symbolism, things of that nature, right? I'm sure you saw the think pieces. I think for me, it's kind of like, I think that's why my thing is just like, there's no need to, I just feel like expanding on the Sinner's world, for me, it feels like it takes away from the underlying message he was trying to state. I think one of the amazing things about Sinners was just as a fantasy or horror movie, it was good. Okay. And then as something that had symbolism about ancestry and about music and about love and about white supremacy and about all these things, right? And about culture and all the things they talked about, race, things of that nature. I just feel like to create a Sinner's universe kind of, in my opinion, takes away. It kind of reminds me of like the Matrix trilogy. Like the Matrix was so deep and it had all these like this symbolism in it. And it's like you watch the Matrix and you get more and more of the nuances and the layers. And then you watch Matrix 2 and Matrix 3 and Matrix Reboot. And then it's just like
Matrix Reloaded is goated, bro. Relax.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it wasn't amazing.
Movie.
Isn't what I was going to say, but I'm saying a lot of that nuance is gone, and then it just turns into like this action.
That's how
I felt, but maybe I need to rewatch it.
The nuance in the Matrix 2 to 3 was expanded on even further. Like
he met God.
Yeah, like
remember when he met God and he was like, "Listen, this is not the first time I've had one come to me," and then gave him a whole existential choice. You either go save this woman and doom all of the Matrix, or we just start over again. He ended up going to save his shorty.
And I think...
And nobody was doomed.
Right?
But you're talking about plot. Where's the symbolism in...
You want me to watch that movie again, bro? It's been a minute. Like
I think the symbolism of not the Matrix one, but the trilogy itself was like painting, I think, Neo as like Jesus or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. It wasn't just... It was built through all the movies, not just the first one.
Except the last one.
Wait, by last you mean the reboot?
Yeah,
the number 4.
Like, that one is just
that was a pile of shit.
Like the whole.
But it was intentionally a pile of shit.
Yeah, it was about religion, literally.
It wasn't a pile of shit because of religion.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm
okay,
ooh, that was close. That was close.
You almost got me on that one, bro. Get your mans, bro.
Well, I would say that. I mean, here this isn't a Matrix. So I'm not going to go that deep into it. But what I would say is that I don't think we need to expand on the Sinner's universe. I think if they want to do another project that goes into, you said, the Yoruba, the Orishas, that would be an exciting thing to explore. But I don't think it needs to be like part of the Sinner's universe. I think it'll be a cool separate thing if he decides to go there.
I don't think it hinders that universe at all. I don't think it even affects the first movie if it's in the same world, respectfully. I think at best it gives us a starting point that there are rules that these things follow. Because if you was to do something with the Orisha and stuff like that, right? There are rules and stuff like that. Like, you know, however that goes, because I'm not going to act like I know. Right. So however that was to go, he would just expand on it and make his own story out of it. And if it was to fall in the same planet, that same Earth, I don't think it takes from the first one, only because there are no real connection, right? It doesn't, like, it's just two separate stories happening on the same planet at the same time. That's all it is. It's just two separate stories.
But if that's the case, why expand it to why make a Sinner's universe? Because
in that regard, I don't think there's any harm, any foul. There's no harm, no foul, right? Like if you make a story like that, it's literally like in Marvel, there's two things happening at the same time in two different places on the Earth, right? But it's still like there's still certain rules that are followed on the planet itself, right? So like the same rules of gravity is the same rules of how science is the same, stuff like that. I don't think it makes a difference. And then even then you can alley-oop it where all things living, dead, demonic, angelic, all of that could derive from something. Like there's so many plays.
You're giving Castlevania. I see what you're going for.
But there's so many plays on it, but they don't have to directly like tie together. It could loosely like, okay, that's why they can't enter the door because this, right? And that could just be a loose Easter egg, and that's it. And you just keep it pushing, right? It can happen. I just don't think we need a direct sequel that's a direct sequel to that story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like Fear the Walking Dead, and before they combined. But in The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead was same universe, just on the other side of the country. Mm-hmm. And same world, same rules apply. Completely different cast of characters until, they put Morgan over there. But before that, completely different cast of characters in the same universe telling a completely different story.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I understand what he's trying to say. That's how I'm seeing it. But Fear the Walking Dead actually crossed over. But Sinners and whatever the other movie doesn't have to necessarily cross over directly. You could probably get like a newspaper article about some juke joint being burnt down, or like a mass shooting at whatever the hell from the end of the movie where he killed all the Klan members or something like that. Something sly like that. Or a mention of the blues guy, just a little bit, he got a show here or something as they continue with like the stories.
Yeah. Like little Easter eggs. And it's like, it don't even have to be called Sinners 2, right? Like it
could be a completely different title. Yeah, that's
different title. It's loose, like it's in the same world, but it's not a sequel. Mm-hmm.
You know what's a better example? Like them M. Shamalama Ding Dong movies. Like,
what did that man do to you?
Running joke on the internet, like Unbreakable and
I believe.
Yeah, like
and then Glass.
Yeah.
Until they eventually crossed over.
But we just don't have to do a crossover.
For the longest split, Unbreakable and
But my point is that if we're doing a crossover, there's no need to make a Sinners multiverse.
Oh no, we don't need a Sinners multiverse.
We don't need a.
If he's saying if we were to make another movie,
yeah, like because like the way that was said was like Sinners this, Sinners that, Sinners that.
Yeah, that just sounds stupid.
We don't need all of that. If you wanted to do things in the same world,
I don't need Sinners Civil War. Like what?
I don't need. I don't need
Sinners Brave
Sinners X Twilight. Like I don't need that. That's not what I'm looking for, right?
Imani's not convinced.
Well, I'm not convinced.
That's fine.
Look, we don't need that, bro.
Perfect work we don't need that, bro. On its own.
I see what you say. She's not convinced. I'm not feeling it.
But what I'm saying is that I think that the idea that Greg has is really cool about maybe exploring the Orishas. I just don't think it needs to be connected to the Sinners universe. That's all I'm saying.
Completely separate project.
Yeah, it could be a completely beautiful, wonderful separate project. That's what.
But I have a question. If it's still a completely beautiful project and it was just in that same world, what difference did it make?
I just feel like I don't know. I think Sinners holds up on its own as its own movie, and I feel like connecting it to another movie just doesn't resonate to me. I don't see a purpose or a point unless we're doing a crossover, and I wouldn't want to do a crossover. So if we're not crossing things over, why are we expanding a universe? In my
something else that's happening in the world. That's all. Yeah. We can still get another story that resonates well with the black struggle or black history, and it just instead of it being in Georgia or Mississippi, wherever they were, it's in like California or West Africa
or Brazil,
New York,
exactly,
Maine,
like,
something like that.
The
Texas.
next one, perfect example. The next one could be in the same universe and ain't got nothing to do with vampires. It's about the El Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's about the
Mexico, but it just like a shared universe, but they don't have to be directly connected to each other.
And I think Conjuring does that too, and I don't really care. And I love the Conjuring series.
I felt like there was like direct sequels to each other.
But you know where I
some of them were, some of them weren't. It was weird.
Like there's a whole Conjuring.
No, I'm saying like some were direct sequels, weren't some were like prequels.
Oh yeah, it's confusing.
It's very
Annabelle's and the Conjuring.
Yeah, and I think Conjuring is a good example because I just felt like. I don't know. I just felt like Conjuring was such a good story, and then, like you said, we have the Annabelles, and we got
Insidious. Isn't it connected to Insidious too?
No, it's not.
But here's the thing.
Maybe the guy is just the same actor.
But you only feel that way because the connecting stories are not good.
Mm-hmm. No, that's valid.
That's why you feel that way.
Yeah, and I was just like, what are we doing after a while?
Because they're not good. Mm-hmm. If they were all good,
yeah,
I don't mind. Like, this is a good story. It's a good world building, but because they're not good, it's like, okay, you're just doing anything at this point. And if they came out as standalone movies that were not connected, they're still not good. Mm-hmm. They're just not good. Mm-hmm. If you give me another masterpiece like Sinners, right? You don't call it Sinners. It's about
Sinners universe.
the
I don't know what a chupacabra is, but
a chupacabra.
A chupacabra.
No, if you give me the feather snake god thing, and that's the next story, and it's about the Aztecs, and it's the same world, but just like there's no direct, there's two different places. You give me that's the next story, and it was good.
Yeah.
And do I care that it's in the same universe? It's a little bit easier for him to kind of like play off of what already exists, right?
Now we get some Hispanic lore.
Yeah.
It's also like it's if you're gonna do things that are loosely connected, it's not necessarily that you're committing to like this is a sequel. It's especially if Ryan Coogler did it. I think he would go more of the path of like we are following the same kind of recipe to give you a similar kind of feeling over a different story and explore different themes. Like I see it almost like if I saw Ryan Coogler doing anything, I think it would be more in line with almost like a Pixar situation where each movie is its own thing around its own topic that it wants to explore. And it's just done in similar storytelling ways. And if they were connected, they would be maybe a little bit more connected than Pixar movies does, but like almost in the way that people think, oh, they're all in the same universe because they put these things and like the Andy's toy thing shows up in this movie and then they use this room thing that gets referenced in all of the different ones.
That's exactly how I seen it when Greg was explaining it. It's just like just a different story. It just happens to also be in the same world, which
or even like do you know the old school Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
No. Like I've seen episodes though, but not like
it's just like old school show. I only know it because they used to it was one of those shows that some teachers would put on when the substitute came in or whatever and be like, oh, write about like this theme in this
school
episode.
Yeah.
And part of it was just like it was all these like loosely connected episodes of these supernatural things, but none of them like were technically like in the same world, but it was just like a one-off episode that explored that aspect of human behavior that it wanted to explore. And then they were just under the title of like the Twilight Zone. And so you knew that you were watching a show that was going to have some thing happen that was supernatural that explored an aspect of human behavior. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, this is a sequel episode to the other thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And as Luther was saying, Black Mirror, the most recent season, literally did that.
Yeah, Black Mirror, they're connected. They're connected.
I know other seasons will reference something from like a previous episode, but
so on Black Mirror, the show, did you watch this? You didn't watch it?
No.
This most recent season of Black Mirror, everything's happening in the same world. So I'm under the impression most of everything is happening on Earth, and they're just isolated stories that can intertwine.
But they've done that before.
Yeah, but like
they referenced the whole pig thing, the prime minister, having sex with the pig thing. They referenced that in like other episodes, but like it wasn't like a direct connection to that episode. But in that episode, and that happened in that world, and they're just like, "Oh, look at this." But then whatever the episode is about will continue whatever the topic is about in that episode.
All right.
Are you convinced?
No.
Oh,
but I appreciate all your. Here's the thing. I just think Sinners was a movie that talked about, like the Black experience and and they used vampires as a canvas to paint these stories about what it means to be Black, or what it means to be a Black woman down south, or what it means to be a passing woman down south, what it means to be an immigrant, and how all of these. What it means to be, how white women interact with our communities, how natives interact with our communities, how Asians or East Asians interact in our communities. And it was, I think, very deep, and it was very poignant. And it talked about all these things through the lens of this fantasy or this fantastical idea. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so beautiful. And I think that's my reason as to why I would like to keep it just as its own separate thing. And I don't necessarily feel a need to expand a universe, especially if we're not having a Civil War. That's my Civil War. That's my thing. Like, hey, if he could do it, he could do it. But I feel like, my question to you is kind of just like, what's the point? I think I have seen that stuff, not in Pixar, because I don't watch Pixar like that. But if you watch the old Renaissance, I don't know, if you watch any of the old Renaissance Disney movies, they also do hints to other movies, and it is this kind of idea like, what if they're all together? And I never really cared for it because I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, it never. But that's me. Like, I'm my own personal. I'm not saying it's good or bad, or I don't even think it makes the content even worse. I'm just saying, if you're like, hey, I would love to expand the Sinners universe, my thing is like, we don't need to, similar to. Oh wait, never mind. I was about to bug out, but yeah,
What were you about to say?
What? So you can clip it? Nah.
What was you about to say? What was you about to say?
No,
Damn.
I'm not gonna say it. Can you guess what I was about to say?
Spit all up on that joint.
No, sorry. Can you guess what I was about to say?
With the mic just now, gang.
Can you guess what I was about to say?
No,
I mean, shit.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's right.
Hot to it.
Catch that on camera?
Oh, ew. Yeah, this effect when we done, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. You said,
I seen that shit just chilling on the thingy, whatever the hell this thing is called, man.
that shit caught me off
It
guard.
disappeared because it's absorbed inside the
What you about to
sponge.
say?
I'm not saying it now. I'm tired of being laughed at. Like,
Nah, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. If I did it, you'd have been crying. You'd have felt behind the seat. If I did what you did, you'd have felt behind the seat laughing at me. That shit was funny. Honestly, I didn't see that coming.
Oh my god.
No,
but yeah, I'm not saying it's a wrong way of thinking. I'm just saying I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I'm not like, oh, this is just wrong.
yeah.
I don't disagree with you, gang.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Love that for you both.
Is that shade?
But no, not at all. Final topic, quick topic. Kai Cenat has started a streamers university. Where
I'm sorry, I heard about it.
Damn.
I heard about it. People were
apparently
crashing out
like
about it on
7
TikTok.
million people
Yeah.
signed up to be a part of the streamer university.
I should have signed up.
He was so bold. I think he was gonna rent out a school and have people come to the school. He was going. You could sign up as a student or a teacher.
Oh wow.
Mad people signed up. We know a couple people that signed up.
Did
Yeah,
you
I've seen a couple of people that signed up, yeah.
Really? Did you see his live stream in the Met? Apparently he did a live stream in the after party for the Met.
Oh, for the
no
Met.
idea.
Yeah.
No, I saw a snippet. Some white woman was in his waist, and she's like, "Do you know this DJ?" And he's like, "No." She's like, "It's me."
Kai
he-
Cenat is such like a bundle of joy. Like,
And he's like, "Okay, do you know Gigi? Who's that? My wife." And he walked off.
oh wow, he's the best. Are you signing up for the Kai Cenat Streamers University?
No.
So what's the details around that thing? Because I ain't watched no trailers, nothing. I just
It was an interesting trailer. It was like they were giving like Hogwarts acceptance letters. They were like in a flying car over Atlanta, throwing letters out of a bag, and they were like just going into mailboxes. It was pretty interesting. So my understanding of it all is, I think probably 150, 300 people. I'm not too sure exact number that they will accept. And I think they're just giving out free like streamer courses. Actually, it's like a I don't know. I think it sounds like a nonprofit kind of organization thing.
Okay.
They're just giving out free streamer courses. But I think Mr. Beast kind of said, I don't think this was directly connected to what Kai is doing, but he mentioned out loud like people don't understand the toll, the mental gymnastics that that mental up that comes with consecration full time.
of course.
Right? Like it gets apparently and I'm gonna butcher this quote, but it's very much along the lines of like the fear of like not being relevant, something along that. And I found it to be interesting because they even have therapists for content creators.
Makes sense.
They have therapists for content creators.
I'm so glad they do.
Makes sense. There's a bunch of people online being like, yo, KYS, bro.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing. I'm not too sure how I feel about this streamer university. I think I've heard someone dropped out of college to enroll in this. Like,
Yeah,
dropped out of college
All right. Like
to enroll in this, and I think, and me and you had a brief conversation.
I was just about
and this is also like a snippet for what our panel will be on. But like, can content creation truly be a full-time job?
Yeah.
I think if you're not of the chosen.
And even like we spoke about this, even The Chosen has been doing it for like what, a decade? I think of any
at this
person.
point.
Yeah, I think of any person who's like famous, they hopped on the
10
scene.
years, man.
Yeah, like they hopped on the scene before
almost 10 years.
we even knew we could make a, like they got in the right place at the right time.
COVID. Some of them from COVID. So
Some of them from COVID.
At least 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
it's a lot of luck, and I think there's
several factors. I think luck, intention, because you have to be very intentional with this, or like, I don't want to say throwing away your morals, but like I think a lot of these content creators like could be a little chaotic. I think that the whole walking around doing loyalty tests is kind of weird, right?
I don't think it's a requirement, but I definitely do think if you do it, it can happen faster.
Yes.
Wait, do the
if you toss out your morals, you're
going to get it quicker.
There's ways of getting more attention faster if you don't care how you get the attention.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I also think that kind of like that puts you in a position as well where things may not come as easier for you in the long run.
And it also doesn't necessarily last because there's only so much you can bring shock value. And that's usually when you're doing it. When you're doing things outside the book, that's usually the kind of lane that you're going down.
But then that falls back to what I was saying about intention. There's no real intent behind what you're doing. There's no you're not serving a community, you're not uprising people, stuff like that. I don't think that's what half these streamers were doing, but I think that came along their journey, and they understood the impact and they stuck to it. But I think a lot of people now are not even in those like lanes where they're trying to impact others. They just want the fame and fortune.
They just want the fame and fortune.
Yeah, like there was a study that was recently done on like kids under the age of 18, like 57% said they want to be content creators. Where's the electricians?
I was thinking the same thing. We need doctors.
Where are the plumbers?
We need air traffic controllers.
But I disagree with that because as people who are aspiring to be content creators, I think it's a little strange to be like, well, I want to be a content creator, so I'm going to pursue that. But you, 6-year-old kid, we need a plumber. You need, I don't think that's fair to them.
No, I'm not saying that, but I feel like the content creator job is one of those jobs that clearly everybody can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Greg said, like intention. Why do you want to be a content creator? And then when you do get to that space, what are you bringing to the community to make that space better? Don't just do it because you want people to adore you. You want tons of likes and want people, going viral and talking about you. What are you giving back to the community to offer for it? Because like for us as an example, when we started L.A.N Party, why did we start L.A.N Party?
We wanted to be a voice.
Right? We wanted to be a voice for, the young black nerds that didn't have the space that, come from the areas we come from that didn't have a comfortable space to be able to like embrace that culture, but also at the same time, like bring our culture into it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like another reason why we started our parties, because we didn't just like the house music party type thing. We brought in our own DJs. We got Caribbean music, hip hop, like all the things that are part of our normal everyday life. And we brought it into that space as well and made it more comfortable for us instead of like, sorry to say, a lot of these things be whitewashed, but we started this because we wanted to build a community, a New York City community specifically where, everybody felt welcome to be nerds, but also at the same time, you don't got to be like labeled as like weird. We can still be us. We can still listen to Vibes Cartel while wearing a Naruto headband. So the problem is if all these kids just want to be content creators, what do you bring in with that? Like, what's your goal once you reach that platform? What do you do then? If everybody wants to do the same thing, it's diminishing returns at that point. Like,
what do you mean by diminishing returns?
So if every 6-year-old right now wants to review toys,
the same toy,
who's the consumer at that point? There's no consumer because they're all doing it. So if they're all doing it because they don't want the next kid to get scammed or anything, so they want to see, you know what I'm saying? They're all doing it. So what's the point of even buying a toy? There's not enough. I don't want to say there's not enough.
We have we have a world of creators, I think we should allow them to express themselves and want them to create. And I don't think
who will they be expressing themselves to and creating for?
Yeah, but
everybody's doing the creating.
A lot of people do, right? And there is a problem with like a lot of people wanting to be an influencer, sure, right? But I think also there's a lot of people who want to create. And I think, and I don't think, and I think, and I don't necessarily, like when I heard that quote, I wasn't necessarily like, damn, our society's, it's just, I don't know, it just feels a little like gatekeepy. Like it feels a little bit like.
No, I'm not telling people to do it. I'm just saying like it just, again, like Greg said, intention. What are your intentions when you get to this space? What are you trying to do? Besides just be on camera for people to see your face.
Let me read this to y'all. So y'all just have Amy Kelly, the co-founder of Revive Health Therapy and a licensed family therapist whose clientele consists of many content creators, told the outlet that the influencer industry itself is not built to sustain the careers that feed it. Social media is not just a platform; it's a recruiter. She told Fast Company as she noticed that 57% of Gen Z teens in the U.S. said they would become influencers if given the chance. We are grooming teens into a digital workforce with proven mental health hazards, the modern equivalent of sending kids into a coal mines without protective gear. And I think that's a quote. That's a quote, right? And you got to think about it. Your social media, like your Instagram, your Twitter, all of that, that's your resume. That's your resume when it comes to like trying to get brand deals and pitching yourself to these companies and stuff. That's your resume, right? Because that's where you're getting all your analytics and all your feedback from to prove that you are who you say you are and why these people should pay you to do these things, right? Now, think about all the mental health gymnastics you have to go through just trying to create content. Right now, so now you're saying that 57% of teens are willing to do this?
Yes, that's what the quote is saying.
But what's the intent behind it?
But I disagree. Why does it have to be intent? Like if a little girl wants to go and throw in her camera and make content because she enjoys making content, why?
I think that's the differentiation. I think that's so. For example, this is a parallel that I use a lot. There are a lot of people that want to make music, and I don't actually believe that there are a lot of people that want to be musicians, like professional musicians, because that is the way you have to design your life and the things that you have to do in order to make it a business is very different from, hey, I like making music. And this is actually, so one of the shows that I work with interviews musicians, and one of the common conversations is like, musicians will bring up that like, oh, I just want to make music, right? But like being a musician, like a professional musician, isn't that. Just like, I think we were actually talking about this right before we hit the cameras to record. We were talking about like making money. And it was like, oh, you're basically getting into ad sales. Because at the end of the day, like you need to have a thing that has a value add. Like you need to have a thing that has like is either educating or entertaining, or I think there's a couple other like, you know, value adds that you can have in media. But at the end of the day, it's like usually you're either educating or entertaining or some form of both of them, right? And if you don't have, there isn't an intention and an understanding of what you're doing with the media, then you're just making media, which is a cool thing to want to do. But I think that's a very different thing than I want to make this my business. And I think there's a couple other creators that I see on TikTok and Instagram that talk about this difference between just like the lack of education of kids in the different options that they have and the breadth of the options and like what the ways you can flex and represent skills. And there are a lot of kids that like have skills and enjoy doing things, but don't understand how those skills and activities can be represented in jobs in the real world.
So to piggyback off what he's saying right now, it's a thing of boom. We say we didn't have him, right? And we had to do this ourselves, like set all this up ourselves. We bought the equipment, set this ourselves. Now it's a thing of, okay, we may not be the best at it, but moving forward, we are producers. We are producers on top of being content creators because we also are technical directors. Right?
Yeah.
We understand how to work a switcher. We bought one ourselves. We messed around with it. We got it going, but we now we know how to do that. So on top of us being a podcast, we second as a production house. right? And we did this because we wanted to make our own thing. We didn't want to rely on anyone else. We want to make our own world where we're able to talk about the things we love and put on for people, right? So now how do you pivot that to also making money? Because you have to live. This isn't sustainable. So you have to live. What do? Now we record podcasts for other creators. So we are a podcast company, we are a podcast and a production house, right? So this is what I mean by intent, because you're learning all these skills. You're learning all these skills, and you're not even understanding how you can apply it, because we are also a business. A content creator is a business. You are your own brand. You are your own business. You're all of the above. If you're just doing it to do it, are you understanding what you're doing behind that, right? And then on top of that, it's not an overnight thing, right? It's not an overnight thing. I barely have a life sometimes, right? To just make sure shit gets off the ground a certain way. It's for us to just keep going, right? People, you giving that up mad early for what?
Wait, what do you mean you're giving up mad early for what?
You giving that up. You have to do that. I think that plays a part on wanting to be a content creator, some part, like sacrifice. And it's not little sacrifices.
I feel like all these teens want to do it because the people they watch, they see like, oh, this could be fun. You know, it looks like something I could do.
It's just the modern version of like, oh, I want to be the radio host on radio, or like I want to be the guy who hosts the late night television when night television.
Right. And I'm not trying to discourage them from like doing that. Like you can try it, but you gotta understand, like Greg said, there's so much more that goes into it besides just sitting in front of the camera.
I feel like this is like the modern day version of like, oh, I want to be Michael Jackson. And
celebrity. And I wanted to say, I also don't think it's these kids' fault because they're kids, right? I think we have a society that puts this stuff on a pedestal.
Right.
Like we don't necessarily have a society that puts being a plumber on a pedestal or being all these other things that you feel like these kids could be. What they're seeing is like being this thing could give me fame and fortune. And I think that's the point of that's why it's set up that way. So it's like for us, it's like, how can we get mad at somebody chasing these things that society is rewarding you to be?
I just need them to understand it's like what Remy said before, like the difference between wanting to make music and being a musician. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to put in that work to do more than just sit in front of the camera and think all the views are going to come in, because you have to be able to put in the work. When we first started this podcast thing, we knew nothing about mics, how to work audio interfaces, you know, how to use noise gates and noise suppression filters and all that BS. And I did it. What did I do? I sat there, I put in the hours on Google to learn everything I needed to do to make sure whenever we recorded at first, it sounded as good as it can be. And whenever there was a problem, I had to research why. Why do I hear you two over me? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? How can we make it better? Right. And the same thing with our graphics. Now we have to learn how to do this. Same thing with our video editing. Like, all right, how do we make this better now? Because it looks like this from like a company like IGN or something. How do we make our things look like IGN without having to spend like $1,000 for somebody to do it for us? We want to be able to do it ourselves first. So they need that sort of commitment to the content creator space in order for it to eventually potentially work out, like Kai Cenat or whoever else they watch.
And also in like there will be people who make it, and there will be people who don't. And the ones who don't, I think there needs to be somewhere where they can understand the skills they've learned can be applied into something else. So, for example, you are in charge of, like, you've been in charge of some of our most recent YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
So now you're a video producer.
Yeah.
You understand? So that means you could go on set as a video, like a director assistant, all types of shit, because you've learned these skills on your own producing our stuff.
Then also it's like now it's starting to get to the point where creator business, like just the business around creators and YouTube channels, is its own business. So if like you learn these video production skills, you don't have to just produce videos for yourself anymore. I think that's the other side. It's like, I think there is a lack of understanding from a lot of the younger generation that like if for the one YouTube video, there's like 20 people behind it now.
For real.
Yeah.
Like how we found out, like making a 30-second TikTok is like 2 hours of work to get that.
Bro, that's the biggest thing. Like a 30-second TikTok, people don't understand that. Sometimes that thing takes 4 hours.
Yo,
that's
like the utmost of work for 30 seconds, man. Like,
and let it not hit. Now you mad.
Now you mad.
You
put in
mad.
all that work and you got like 5 views.
And it can't be that way.
And you got to do it 20 times and maybe one gets a little bit of traction.
Mm-hmm. But this is like where I disagree. Like if you're making content for the love of it and for the art of it, right? I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. There's some of my things pop and some of my things don't. But very rarely, if it doesn't pop, I'm mad because I'm like, hey, I did this because I enjoy creating art.
So then, are you doing it for the love or are you doing it for the bread? Because if you're doing it for the love, you don't care if it hits or not. You're just doing it for love.
Ideally both, but I also understand that like it's not going to pop all. It'll take a while to pop. So if I do something and it doesn't go as successfully as I want it to, I'm not going to be mad because for me it's like what's the point? Unless like I've done the thing and it's not popping off because then it's like I need this money. But if I'm still like in the beginning phases of it and it's not popping off, it's kind of just like, but we knew it's not a guarantee for it to pop off. I'm not making this content for it to pop off. Like you said, like my intention is community based. My intention is making art. So if that's my intention, why get mad?
So again, I don't know why you keep saying mad.
But that's what you said. You said you'd be mad when shit doesn't pop off.
No.
That's what I thought you said.
No, I was like, would you be mad if it don't pop up? It's fine. I also think there's also this nuance of how can you say, if you're doing it for the love, it doesn't matter if it pops or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it does not. It will never matter. But if you're doing it to pop, right? There's a certain level of commitment that you have to put in that sacrifices a lot of your free time, your life, and stuff like that, that people don't understand. And by doing that, once you give yourself to your content that way, I think that's where all that mental health stuff kicks in, because now you're too worried to understand like why people are not messing with it, why the algorithm not picking it up, and you start. That's where the self-doubt comes from. That's in that regard. I think that's people anxieties and stuff like that, like because you're working so hard and nobody's messing with your stuff.
Yeah, but if you're doing this for outward validation, that is going to mess with you. If you do anything for outward validation.
But if this becomes like a regular 9 to 5, that's exactly what it is. It's no longer going to be a passion project. People are now doing it because it's a job.
I think
it looks like
a
fun job.
This is also one of those industries where like hard work does not equal results.
Yeah.
Period point blank.
It does not. It does not.
Like period point blank, like results comes from like you really need to do that thing, like, and do it really extremely well with understanding of all of the ways that you can provide value in what you're doing. And even then, you're not going to hit all the time. Right. And I think a lot of times it's this misconception that like, oh, if I work hard at the thing, then people will pay attention. But that's never not once how it works.
We can do
it's
the
like
goofiest thing and it'll take off.
Like one of the most interesting points I think Mr. Beast specifically makes is that like he attributes a lot of the growth that he had, as particularly in the beginning, was not from the fact that he was making videos, but the fact that they were dissecting, and him and a couple other people were dissecting, reviewing, and like analyzing videos for countless hours and learning like the things that differentiated things that did well and got traction versus the things that didn't. And it's like doing that and working smarter to like have the most effective version of it, and nerding out about like, oh, what level of saturation is going to catch eyes on this thumbnail the most, is the types of things that you kind of need to do when you're doing it with a commercial intent, which I think is different from like, I want to make things that I want to make. Yeah. Because if you're doing it for commercial intent, your job isn't to make things that you want to make. Your job is to make things that other people want to consume, or like for sure find value in, and like you kind of balance it with the things that you want to make, because it helps you keep continuing to do it, but you do need to have that.
But I think that also plays into why I don't the whole I'm just making things for the love of it I don't fully fully
align with it.
I don't feel aligned with it because you're doing it to be commercial in some capacity. Because if you just doing things for the sake of doing things, you build it, you walk away from it, you leave it where it's at. People, and there's not, it doesn't feel like there's too many people who do that.
Mm-hmm.
They do it, and then they sitting there like, why, what's going on? I know I'm not doing the thing enough, or maybe I could change my thumbnail. When you start editing it more, tweaking it more, is because you want it to be seen, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But then understand that that's what you're doing. Understand where your head is at when you're doing these things as well. That's why intent matters, because it's now a thing of like you're trying to appeal to people that you don't have reach to. So your intent matters because who are you to them? Why should they care? If you're someone who's trying to provide like a lesson or something like that, or be teachable or something of that sort, that does change. That does put things a little bit in your favor, right? But you need to be providing something as well that people are walking away with something, via it be entertainment, education, and that sort. But that is all that we have today, and we will be talking about the rest of this at our panel at DreamCon in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. All right. Well, I'm Greg.
It's your boy Luther,
and I'm Imani.
And we will see you guys next week.
And I just think that you should clip that. That was so informative. That should be the clip of the week.
I'm trying so hard.
You're getting your code. You're done. I'm gonna send it straight to his phone.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna send it to his phone.